Hello students, today we will be discussing how to appreciate a poem. This question is asked in part 3 where you are asked to appreciate an unseen poem. So in this discussion we will try to find out what are the main points that we should cover while discussing a poem. First of all, if we take up a poem, we must try to find out what does a poem try to convey and how does the poem convey it. Thus, a critical appreciation of a poem examines two things: the content and the form of a poem. While discussing the content of the poem, we first try to find out what kind of poem it is. Generally, poems are of 4 types. They can be descriptive, they can be reflective, they can be narrative, or they can be of any other type. Now, when we have decided what kind of poem is it, then we try to find out what is the basic or general thematic pattern of the poem. So, a poem can be philosophical, it can be didactic, it can be emotional, it can be satirical, it can be elegiac, or it can be religious or mystical. So by reading the poem, we have to find out the general thematic pattern of the poem. Then we have to find out what kind of tone does the poem have. Whether the poem has a festive tone or a melancholic tone or an optimistic tone or a pessimistic tone or a hopeful or desperate tone. We have to find out the general tone of the poem by reading that poem. Then we give the general meaning or any specific meaning of the poem. This much is dedicated to the appreciation of the content of the poem. Thereafter, we move to appreciating the form of the poem, and in this section we try to look at the stanza form, the rhyme pattern, the rhythm pattern, alliteration, assonance, onomatopoeia. Then we also try to find out the figures of speech, the pattern of imagery or general images used, and the diction that has been used in the poem. When we appreciate the rhyme of the poem, we have to find out whether the rhyme is exact rhyme or it is an approximate rhyme. Sometimes the rhyme is exact, where the first line rhymes completely with the second line, or there can be difference in the rhyming pattern. The first line can rhyme with the third line, or first line can rhyme with the fourth line, but there is a kind of exactitude in this kind of exact rhyming. But then there is approximate rhyming also. In approximate rhyming we have three types of rhyming. One is imperfect rhyming, like the two words us rhyming with dust. Then vowel rhyme, like the word be rhyming with die. And then suspended rhyme, the word near, for example the word near rhyming with hair. Then we have also unrhymed poems, and in these unrhymed poems the two popular kinds of verse that are used are free verse or blank verse. So we'll have to find out whether the poem is a free verse or a blank verse. Actually, in these two types of verse we do not have any kind of rhyming, but in blank verse there is a kind of rhythm pattern. So that differentiates a free verse and a blank verse. Then in appreciating form, we have to look at the imagery that has been used in the poem. The poet generally uses certain images to convey his thought or feelings. So we have visual images pertaining to sight, we have oral images pertaining to hearing, we have olfactory images pertaining to smelling, we have gustatory images pertaining to taste, we have tactile images pertaining to touch, we have thermal images pertaining to heat, and we have kinesthetic image pertaining to motion. So when we have taken up images, we can proceed and we come to appreciating the stanza form. So we can count the number of stanzas in the poem. Then we can also count the number of lines in a stanza. Then we can examine the pattern of rhyming in the stanza. Some of the popular stanza forms are couplet, where the first line rhymes with the second line. Then we have terza rima, where we have two triplets and triplicate rhyming, ABA, BCB and CDC. Then we have quatrain rhyming ABAB, and we have ballad form ABCB or ABAB. Then we have rhyme royal ABA BBCC. Then Ottawa rima ABAB ABCC. We have Spenserian stanza ABAB BC BCC. And of course we have sonnet. In sonnet we have three types of sonnets. One is Petrarchan sonnet, where we have an octave and a sestet. The octave rhymes ABBA, 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 and the sestet rhymes CDC, CDC. Then we have Shakespearean sonnet, where the rhyming pattern is ABAB, CD, EF, and GG. In Shakespearean sonnet we have four 3 quartets and 1 couplet. And then we have a Spenserian sonnet where the rhyming pattern is A B A B, B C B C, C D C D, and E E. And after that we come to the appreciation of stylistic appreciation of a poem, where we try to find out the figures of speech that have been used in the poem. Some of the common figures of speech are simile, metaphor, personification, metonymy, apostrophe, hyperbole, synecdoche, euphemism, irony, pun, paradox, antithesis, epigram, oxymoron, and bathos. And lastly, we appreciate the metrical scheme of a poem, in which we try to find out which syllable is stressed and which syllable is unstressed, and how there is a pattern of stressed and unstressed syllable forming feet. The popular feet are iambic, in which the first syllable is unstressed and the second syllable is stressed. We have trochaic, where the first syllable is stressed and the second syllable is unstressed. We have spondy, where the first and second syllable both are stressed. We have pyrrhic feet, where unstressed and unstressed syllable, both the syllables are unstressed. Then we have dactylic feet, in which we have one stressed syllable followed by two unstressed syllables. And then we have anapistic feet, where one unstressed syllable is two unstressed syllables are followed by one stressed syllable. And if a line contains 1 feet, then it is monometer, 2 feet diameter, 3 feet trimeter, 4 feet tetrameter, 5 feet pentameter, and 6 feet hexameter. So we have generally 6 feet maximum number of 6 feet line, but tetrameter and pentameter are more common. One of the most common forms is iambic pentameter. So we have to appreciate the metrical scheme of the poem also. Besides this, we can take note of the words, types of words that have been used. Sometimes there is a preponderance of onomatopoeic words, or certain long vowels, or certain nasal sounds also. The poet tries to create a kind of musical form in the poem, so we have to appreciate that. So in short, we can say that while appreciating a poem, we have to take note of both the thematic pattern and the form of the poem. And in appreciating theme and the form, we can be able to tell what the poet wants to tell, what the poet wants to convey, and how does he convey what he desires to convey. So for a comprehensive analysis of the poem, we have to take note not only of the thematic pattern, but also the structural pattern of the poem. We need to study the type of stanza, or the rhyming pattern, or the rhythm, or the type of images or the figures of a speech that have been used, and the type of diction that has been selected. Only then we can be able to judge properly the merit of a poem. And by appreciating both the aspects of the poem, both the thematic as well as the structural aspect of the poem, we can make a true judgment of the real merit of the poem. So it is a difficult task, but By continuous practice, we can be able to analyze a poem properly. I think this much will be helpful for you, but this needs practice and more practice. Thank you.